It's Thursday, April 30th, 2015, and I'm here at the Oceana Pier with Pem Mancuso, and we were hoping to watch Ann, his daughter, put her board in for the season, but it's too flat out there. So anyway, this is Nancy Hilmer speaking, and as I said, I'm with Pem and his daughter Ann Wallis. So Pem, tell me about your surfing family. Where have you come from, and how have you all become such accomplished surfers?
Well, I'm originally from Goldsboro and grew up, all summer down here basically. And then you get into high school and just want to surf more. And then my parents sent me off to prep school up in Virginia Episcopal. And I ran into some guys from down here that ended up in school with me up there. John McCann, a good buddy of mine. So I'd come down here and see him when I was in college during the summer and hang out and surf and just kind of always loved the ocean and loved doing that. And then, fast forward, I end up with 3 children in Raleigh, and they were down here all summer while I worked in Raleigh. And Ann Wallis was just a baby, but Wood and Ruffin, her 2 older brothers, we put them in the Buddy Pelletier, I guess was the first contest they ever surfed. And they both did really well, both made the finals, and kind of went home 2 weeks later and was working a commercial real estate job in Raleigh and running the company, and just told the guy who owned the company that I just couldn't do it anymore, just couldn't stay in Raleigh. And 2 weeks later we were down here for good. And there was a group of kids at that time that were my boys' ages, and so they just kind of pulled Ann Wallis along with them, and they all surfed every day after school and all day during the summers, and we'd take the truck and drive down the beach in the winter when all the piers were still here. Ann Wallis was a baby. We still had Triple S and Sportsman's were still here. Mm-hmm. And she grew up sitting in my truck at 3 or 4 years old, coloring and watching us surf in the winter. And she'd blow the horn, and I'd paddle length to the pier in, catch a wave, come in and go, "What do you want?" She'd be like, "Daddy, I dropped my crayon." So that was Ann Wallis's interest. We figured it was probably about time to get her out in the water.
She'd had enough of coloring.
Yeah.
All right. So were you in competitions way back?
No, well, yeah, when I was younger I was, and just didn't really like it all that much, just rather surf with my friends. And then I really kind of got into it when the boys started surfing. They started doing ESA, and I just decided to start competing again because they were doing it. We were on the beach all day anyway. And then I got really involved with the Buddy Pelletier Longboard Contest, and I'm the director of it now. So we put that on every year. But it's really what brought our family down here. Was I just saw the benefits of small community and surfing and a healthy lifestyle and the ocean, as opposed to what I was doing in Raleigh, and just the sprawl, and it's just not the way I wanted my children to grow up. I don't lock my doors on the beach. It's like stepping back in time. It really is. And aside from the summer when it's really crowded, there's not a lot of people here. Everybody knows everybody. It's just a really nice way to grow up.
Yep. So did your children learn just by doing it, or were there lessons?
Well, I took them all out, and the first thing we did was, I guess Wood was probably 2nd grade, and Ruffin was tiny. And we got Wood a surfboard and started pushing him into waves. And then when Ruffin was probably 3 or 4, I took him out one day and with a longboard and just told him what to do and pushed him in, and he rode every wave all the way in. People would just stop on the beach and just like, this little tiny baby kid, just natural, And then Ann Wallis, of course, got to be the age and 4 or 5 years old, and just brothers were doing it, I was doing it, she wanted to do it, And I mean, I remember taking her at Iron Steamer and pushing her into waves, and she would come up. At the beach used to at Iron Steamer, it broke so well there that the beach had kind of a slope to it. Just to be impacted with shells, and she'd ride everything into the bank and come up, just and couldn't wait to do it again. Just fearless.
Must be what it takes.
Yeah, well, they've all been water babies.
I'm a water baby myself.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a swimmer.
Yeah, well, it's all good. I mean,
I love to get out there when it's a bad storm and just.
Oh yeah, it's just there's nothing better than the ocean. Like, I can't do fresh water at all. I'm not a freshwater person. You show me a lake and I don't want to get in it. Rivers, nothing. Got to have salt in it.
So Miss Ann, back to you. Did you have fears about your children?
No, I think you have fears about your children when you don't understand. I have fear for other children, like watching people who don't surf or don't know about the ocean and don't have any fear of it, walk into a riptide or whatever. I never did, because I was pretty confident all my children were good swimmers, knew what to do. My big thing was don't panic. You're buoyant, you're gonna come back up. So if you don't panic, you'll be fine. So never really had concerns with any of them, more than anything else. I mean, anything you do has got some risk to it. So.
Not injuries either?
Well, we didn't really have any of those until Ann Wallis in a contest that she was winning and didn't need to go back out and catch another wave. And it was right here by that pole. And it was an ESA contest, and it was, 3 years ago?
It was Buddy Pelletier.
No, it was ESA.
Oh.
It was May. And 3 or 4 years ago, and I pushed her into, she just wanted to go out and catch a bigger wave, and we pushed her into one, and the board hit her in the eye, and immediately, it just missed being a horrible injury. It's bad enough, and it swole all up, and it scared her, and so she took a long time to get back in the water, and she's been reluctant about it ever since. Until recently, she just decided, this is a big part of my life. This is what I want to do. I want to get back in the water. I want to start, doing it all over again.
Well, when you fall off a horse, you're supposed to get back on.
That's right. That's right.
Don't let him know you're scared.
Yeah, that's it. But
you don't have to talk to the board, though.
That was scary to have your your daughter out of all the the boys. It's just a different thing with daughters, and it was scary. I had her immediately. Was running in, got a bag of ice. Oceana was great, but it's just a scary thing, and you can't push your children back into something. As bad as you would like them to get back in the water, you can't force. It's just the wrong thing to do. So we've just kind of let her, just take her own pace, because she was as fearless and as talented as either one of them. So it was a setback, but they've got to want it. So
plus the weather's picking up. That helps.
Yeah.
Do you go out and have you been out yet since?
I have.
Sunday.
We went out Sunday. Sunday was fun. It was cold. It was really cold.
It was big.
I got out there and I freaked out. I was like, I can't feel my arms, and it hurt so bad because I was just, and it was like, it wasn't breaking hard, but right when you went in, it was like breaking right when you went in.
The shore break was big.
It was kind of hard to. It was big, but it wasn't breaking too hard, and so it was kind of hard to get out there, and I couldn't feel my arms that well. It was really cold.
So your wetsuit goes to your.
Well, it goes to my wrist, but it was just really cold, and then the wind.
Were cold, weren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of cold. I have all this hair, so it kind of goes over my ears.
Oh, wow. Tell me about your first competition when you were how old? 3?
Oh, geez.
She was probably 5.
5? I don't remember it that well.
It was at the Buddy.
Yeah, I know it was the Buddy. I've been surfing the Buddy forever.
Well, no, wait a minute. Your first competition was ESA, wasn't it? Yeah, it's that picture of you on your bedroom wall, you and I, and you're sitting on my lap. That was your first contest.
That was ESA? I thought it was
That was ESA. Yeah, and then you did the Buddy that July.
Oh, yeah.
So she's probably 5.
I remember my first wave when I got back after my eye in figure 8. That was fun.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
But yeah, when she was, I think 5, and she won it that year, won the ESA, this region. They didn't have it. That you don't go to regionals and Easterns till you're 3A mini uni, which she was not old enough yet when she got her eye injury. That's what she would be now. So that set her back a little bit. But she was, she surfed the Buddy that year and went through, I think, 4 heats to the finals. Yeah, against boys.
Weaver kids.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, they're a handful.
So were the waves your best teacher, or your brothers, or?
I'd go out with my brothers. I guess it was the waves more because my brothers, since I've gotten older and after I started to try to get back into the water, they'd help me more. Especially Ruffin, he'd help me a lot more. But it was mostly the waves, especially when I was little, because I just kind of learned how to turn gradually and just do stuff like that.
You pay attention to animals and things out there?
If I see dolphins,
what did you tell me you saw Sunday?
I don't want to talk about that. I thought it was a shark, but
Always.
it was a dolphin. It got caught in the lip of a wave, and I couldn't really see it that well. But a group of dolphins swam by. I love seeing dolphins out there. He sees turtles all the time, but
Sorry, it's my son in Missouri.
I never see turtles, and I haven't seen turtles yet. I remember a couple times where I've seen sharks, but it wasn't that bad. We were all out. It's actually all been at Oceana, the only times I've seen sharks. And we were all out in a big group, and then it was one of my brother's friends, and he just yelled, "Shark!" I think it was like a tiger shark in the middle of all of us, and my dad pushed me in, and I made it to the beach, and we were all fine. And then Ruffin and I were just playing around, and we were riding the shore break, and he pushed me in, and 2 baby blacktips were riding beside me the whole way in. But I didn't see him. He didn't tell me because he knew I'd freak out. But you don't really see them a lot. I mean, they're there, but you don't see them a lot.
Yeah, plus you're excited.
Yeah. You just kind of pay attention to the wave.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to worry when it was time for us to go to the beach about what all the things out there could get me, but when I got there, I didn't think about it.
Yeah, you think about it a lot more before you get in the water, but then you get in the water and you're just so pumped to be surfing and just out with your friends and family, riding waves. It's really fun.
So when you were surfing Sunday, were you thinking about your eye, or did you forget all about it?
Well, I was but when my eye happened, he was pushing me into waves still. And so I was just trying to focus more on paddling into waves and going fast enough and getting my paddling better. And so the waves were kind of hard to get into because they were breaking closer to shore. And they were pretty big. And it was really cold and windy. And so I did pretty good, but I was just focusing on paddling.
So the best winds are from where? Because they're from the north today, so they're not great.
They're from the south, probably.
Yeah. What's it like with other kids your age?
Well,
Y'all get along? Do you
well,
fuss about who got what?
we pretty much get along. Mostly the boys. A lot of the girls are older that surf. They're not a lot of, or they're either really young that surf. But as I was saying earlier, the Weaver kids. Oh my gosh, I surf with them. They're hardcore surfers. They're all crazy. It's about maybe 4 of them, and they're all these just little blonde, tan little things running around, and they surf against me. They win a lot. I think I've beaten them a couple times.
Now, do they live here too?
Dad, where do the Weavers live?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. And they come down for the Buddy every year, and they're all just running around crazy. One year, one came in, and he broke his arm, and he couldn't surf. And we asked him what happened. He said, "Oh, I was dancing on the sunroof of our RV, and I fell through."
Well, they had a flat tire.
Well, they had a flat tire.
I think I'd rather be in the water.
Those kids are crazy.
They're crazy.
So where else have you surfed besides North Carolina?
Hatteras.
That's in North Carolina.
Oh, North. Sorry.
Did you surf in Puerto Rico when you were down there?
Yeah, I surfed in Puerto Rico. That's about it. That was a contest that we went up there for Ruffin.
Ruffin and Wood.
Ruffin and Wood. I didn't surf in it.
They had
I was
regionals
young.
in Puerto Rico one year.
Yeah.
Buddy surfed there.
Oh, yeah.
Or he lived there, didn't he?
Yeah. Buddy got all over.
That's probably about the only place.
I think, yeah. I mean, we've been
We go a lot of places
Virginia
here.
Beach. So you didn't start from Virginia Beach, did you? Or Ocean City,
I didn't go to
Maryland,
Virginia
or
Beach.
what about when you were up in Bethany, New York? I mean, Bethany. Delaware.
Delaware? I didn't surf.
Did you and Carrie surf?
No.
Think about going on the West Coast?
Her brother, that's what he's the oldest one's getting ready to fly out there
California?
next week.
My
2
brother.
weeks. Yeah.
He went out there.
Ruffin's been out there.
Ruffin's been out there. He went to California. I was really jealous. That was when I wasn't surfing though. But I'd love to go to California and surf, especially when I get a little better and more skilled, because California's a lot different than North Carolina.
It's a lot bigger.
Yes, it's a lot bigger. I definitely want to go.
Ruffin went out there for 12 days when he was in 8th grade for his spring break. I sent him out for 12 days. Little over spring break, but sorry. Make sure it wasn't a child.
So, anything else you want to share with me?
I missed what y'all were talking about. I'm sorry.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't know. I don't think so.
Do you see yourself doing this for lots of years?
Yes, ma'am. I definitely, I want to grow up doing this, and I want to be in more competitions. I want to get better at it. I want to be doing it for the rest of my life, because you see all these older surfers, and they're very healthy, and they're just very mellow and cool. And I want to teach my kids how to surf, because the life I grew up with was great. Just going out in the water, like when you're bored, you just go down and check the waves, see if there's any. Even if there's not, you can just go paddle around. It's super fun.
Ruffin will get out and body surf
Yeah.
in his wetsuit in the middle of winter, when it's just shore break. And she loves that. I mean, they both, if there's nothing to do, they'll go out and just swim, body surf, whatever.
The hand plane.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to do other things to keep fit?
I play volleyball and
Ride horses.
ride horses. Actually, I just started that. It's pretty fun.
We're getting a paddleboard
We're getting a paddleboard, yeah. I like paddleboarding. Paddleboarding's fun.
just for the exercise, not for the. I'm not a big fan of paddleboarders in the lineup.
Where will you do that?
Just right in front of our house. I mean, like I say, we live right down the street from here, so when it's summer, you got a lot of days just like this, and there's nothing for them to do. I'm a big believer in keeping children busy.
When there's not ways, we just go out and we throw the frisbee. We bump around the volleyball. Sometimes we use the volleyball as a soccer ball. Kick that around.
They spend all their time on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, she grew up in this Pier House before she could surf. The girls in there would watch her. She'd come after school with the boys, and when it's good, I'd want to surf, and so they'd feed her, and she'd sit in there and color. And so, I mean, she's grown up at this Pier House, and just being able to walk home. And the older you get, all the friends are down here hanging out.
Yeah. I'd probably walk here to my house.
And the best thing is everyone knows her, so if she's doing something wrong,
Yeah.
I'm going to hear about it before she gets home. So
I mean,
generally they don't do anything wrong, so.
too busy.
Yeah, well, that's.
When you're healthy and strong, you don't have to do other things that aren't suitable.
Yep.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
You're
Well, thank you for
Thank
coming all the
you.
way down.
Probably needed to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
That's right.
Anyway, I'll be